main panel. There's 4 different models in the range, starting basically from the 5-zone panel, expandable up to 200 zones. So depending, no matter what size job you want to do, you can get familiar with the one panel and then just put the different model range in for what you want. As I said, 5 to 200 zones. All these systems itself starts off at either a 5-terminal system or a 10-terminal, depending what model it is. But all the rest I'm about to talk to about is the same for any model. Starting off, there's 2 different Ethernet modules that you can plug in if you want to put Ethernet on there. This one's an advanced one. There's an SD card that can go in there, and with the SD card, if you get an email, when it gets you an email of an alarm, for example, if you want a program to do that, it can then have attachments on there. More for a commercial premises where you get a email alarm, you can tap on the attachment and it might have a floor plan showing you where the alarm's coming from. People aren't familiar with a large site, for example. And the advanced one also has a web browser on, so from any smartphone, any web browser, you can log in and open up a GUI to arm, disarm, see the zone status, and control the system or web browser. You've also got the optional voice module in there. So if you don't want voice, you might be going back to control room, you might have an app to control it rather than dial in and press 1 to arm, 2 to disarm, etc. You don't need the voice module, you don't have to pay for it, you just buy what you want. Then on the data bus, it's a proprietary data bus, so it's not like a 485 that our other panels have, where you have to multi-drop and you have to have a start and end. The advantage of this is that you can star wire back, you can multi-drop like a 485, and like we're seeing here, you can tap off, you can then phone on to other devices, etc. So it makes it a lot more flexible. So on the data bus, first of all, we've got a standard LCD 4-line keypad. The keypad has got 12 function buttons. There's 4 per page. Then we can go to the next page of 4, next page of 4, etc. Now those function buttons or shortcuts are fully programmable by you, the installer. So you can have icons there. You can change what icons, what order, what pictures it looks like. You can get in on software, change the picture if you wanted to. So you might have that button will then arm area 1, another button can arm all areas, another one will view event logs and so on. So you've got 12 function buttons. And then per user, you can, when they put the user code in, you get another 12 if you want to. Or standard out of the factory, it's just a code to arm. And that will arm the system, and then just a code to disarm. So you don't even have to use the shortcuts if you don't want to. It's just simple, out of the factory, put the code in, arm, code to disarm. We've then got a 3.5 inch, 2 different types of touchscreens, 3.5 inch or a 7 inch. There's interchangeable skins on there. So if we go into the settings, change the skin, that's how simple it is. It will now reskin itself and will come up with a different GUI once that's there. And we've now got the standard GUI skin that comes out of the factory. Some other things that the touchscreens have, got a built-in temperature sensor. So we can see the temperature. We've got climate on there that we can use this like a little thermometer, temperature control. You've also got the ability to put an SD card in and get photo frame if you have an SD card, so the customer can use the photo frame. It's got a prox reader built in. Get the prox card, you can just badge the prox card to control the system. So you can now arm. We get voice out of the keypad, out of the touchscreen. So we've got the voice out there. And the other thing is there's a USB connection on the side. So to programming, come along with your laptop, you can plug your USB in and then program the whole system, so you don't necessarily have to come back to the panel and hit OS232. So you've got a lot of functions there. So there's a 2 different sizes, 3.5, 7 inch touchscreen. The photos will come up in that area, so you've still got your control on the larger one. We've then got the 2-way wireless, so you can put multiple transceivers onto the system. So you've got a new touchscreen, a new radio keypad. The radio remote control, keyfob I should say, you can now lock that. So by pushing the 2 buttons there, we can lock it. So if you put it in your pocket, you're not going to accidentally bump it. Get it out, unlock it and activate it, etc. The buttons are fully programmable on a key fob by key fob. So any user can unlock or control any system. It may not necessarily be arming and disarming. That keymat is standard. You do have company optional keymat as well. So you can open the back of that, change the battery now. You can change the keymat if you just want to use that to open the doors, unlock lights, turn lights on and off, etc. There. Also, you've got a couple of different types of radio read switches. This one obviously radio read, but it's also got two terminals in it. So two terminals, those terminals can be programmed as an input or an output. So with the terminal on there, I can program those as an output, so now we've got wireless outputs. So if you've got a front gate that you can't control, can't get wires to, put the radio read switch to it, and now you've got a wireless output to control when something happens. This wireless read switch here has also got a built-in vibration sensor. So if someone was to smash the window without opening it, the vibration sensor can go off. It's also got tilt adjust. So if you've got an awning window that you can wind out to let some air in summer, the read switch can be able to tilt with or without the magnet. So now that can be on the window with it tilted, but if someone forces the window open more to get in, it goes beyond the tilt and you get an alarm. The PIR, it's got 7 sensitivity adjustments. It's not by link, it's via software. So via the keypad programming software, send a message to the panel, the transceiver, it can then send a signal to the PIR to adjust the sensitivity, etc. So there's some smarts there. Even with the radio key fob, you don't necessarily have to chirp sirens anymore. What you can do is just use the off button, for example, and a red LED will flash to say you press the button. Then when it gets a signal back, a green LED will come on and light up green to tell you it's received the signal. So you don't have to necessarily chirp and look at the feedback to know what the state is. Another unit that sit on the bus is the new prox reader. So it's not rear hand, so you get a lot better distances, etc. But often you'll get requests where you just want to badge your card to get through a door, but it might want 2 badges or 3 card swipes to disarm the system or whatever you want. We've got 4 function lights here, so when we badge the function, it'll cycle through. So if I just badge the card and take it away, it'll trick whatever's F1 and might be arming the system. And do it again, it'll toggle and disarm the system. But I can hold the card there, it will then cycle through F2, F3. It's when I take the card away, when that's lit up, it will trigger whatever F3 is. And it might be disarm both areas, etc. And you can disarm there. So you've got 4 different functions there that can arm different areas, unlock different doors, turn lights on, unlock doors, or whatever you wish to do. Or you can just be simple, badge your card, unlock and relock a door. That comes in a surface mount like that. It's IP34, so you can use it outside. And there's a flush mount option as well that can be hidden behind any non-metallic material. And all the customer can use is just a very small little plastic surface bracket type of thing. And it's also got a small round LED with 4 segments on it, so you can see the 4 states of the 4 function buttons. So that works exactly the same. There's a new satellite siren on board that you don't have to use it. You can use a standard siren on the panel, indoor, outdoor, strobe, etc. But this is an intelligent bus satellite siren, plastic outer cover, so for corrosion in the weather. But also inside, you've got another metal skin. So if someone attacks it, it's going to protect it for damage. When you open that up inside, you've got a foam sensor, so if someone tries to spray foam in there to silence it, that'll start to go into tamper well before it fills up. You've also got other tampers if they try to force the cover open. Battery backed up in there. But the siren itself being an intelligent siren, there's 3 banks of high intensity strobe LEDs in there. So you can get them to strobe, you can get the siren to sound on any event from the panel. So you can have a different siren sound based on different events. So an alarm in area 1, for example, can ring one siren sound. An alarm from a different area can have a different siren sound. A fire alarm can have a different siren sound, and so on and so on. So it's fully flexible. Now that sits on the bus. We've also got another version that's a slave version that can go to any panel, and it's just got positive trigger, negative trigger, hold off, power, etc. Coming back here, also on the bus, we've got a Flex I/O unit, and that's a 5-terminal module, virtually an input-output expander. Now we don't have input and outputs anymore, we have 5 terminals, and that terminal can be programmed as an input or an output, and that's on a terminal by terminal. So this example, terminal 1 can set the zone doubling, so 2 independent detection devices. Terminal 2 we've got just set as a single input, and 3, 4, 5 is set for outputs. So you've got inputs and outputs on there. Also on the bus we've got a GSM module. The GSM module we don't necessarily put inside the panel, because often the panel might be mounted in a basement, in a car park where there's no mobile phone or poor mobile phone reception. So by putting it on the bus, you can then put that wherever you get a good mobile phone. And the GSM unit does multiple things. It can give you voice dialing if you've got voice, to ring a mobile phone, a landline, give you voice if you don't have a PSTN. It can also send you an SMS, so if you get an SMS, you get an alert, SMS alert. It can also send contact ID to a control room via GSM, and it can do GPRS, send contact ID to a control room by the GPRS network. You can also receive SMS, so you can send it a text message to arm, disarm, turn outputs on, turn lights on and off, etc. And also work with caller ID. So when you ring the system up, it picks up your caller ID from the panel, and then via that caller ID you program it of when you get that caller from that caller ID to do something. So you don't even have to make connection. You can let it ring 2 or 3 times, hang up. So it's a free call because you never make connection, and it picks a caller ID and says, John's ringing in, arm this, disarm this, or whatever the case may be based on caller ID. And therefore, you ever have a dozen phone calls coming in, each one could do different things. And if someone cuts the bus, that's intelligent to know we've got a bus tamper, so you can then still dial out to ring to a mobile, go to a control room and say someone's tampered with the bus, etc. There's free apps for the system. So if you've got a LAN thing on a local area network, on the internet, you can control the system, see the zone status, etc. And there's PC software that's available you can control. And last but not least is we've got this intelligent touchscreen here. It's different from the Alien that goes on the bus. This sits on a LAN, and you can connect up to 10 panels or control 10 panels with it. Any alarm occurs from any panel, this can pick it up, enunciate the alarm, do something. You've also got IP cameras that can come up on here, on the system. You can play music in here, you can have media playing with music, you can have photos, you've got graphic maps that you can bring maps up. So if an alarm occurs, you can bring the map up to the status of where the zones are. Control the system from, say you want to arm this area, we can then just arm the system from there. We then see it's locked to see the state, and we can disarm the system from there as well. We can have multiple maps, multiple floors, multiple parts of the area, multiple houses, etc. You might have the office, the interstate office, your holiday house, your parents' house, all coming back to the one touchscreen. So this might be in your house, and then you have another touchscreen at your holiday house. You can then keep an eye on what's in your house, still your office, etc., etc. You've also got time and date, temperature, etc. And over here you've got 4 places where you can put widgets. Might be weather widgets, time widgets, RSS feeds, controls for arming and disarming. And you've also got 8 areas down here that you might put arming, disarming, switching outputs on and off, etc. And then down here you've also got 8 buttons. Each button represents 2. So it's a short press that will arm the system. There we go. And you can have that one as a short press, and that disarms it. Or I can arm it. And then I can have a long press if I hold that for 3 seconds, and then it would have beeped, and now it's disarmed. So that does 2 functions. So you can see you can build it from a very small system, just with 1 keypad, so a 5-zone panel keypad, very small, to build up to 200-zone system, 15 areas, to whatever size you want, based on the application. And that's what, I guess, the flexibility, because you can use it on a domestic application with 2 or 3 detectors, right up to a full commercial system, using and understanding the one system, the programming, etc.